What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. It is the 20th of April. We have about 8 hours and 45 minutes left in this day. Today, we're sitting at about $84,500 right now, a little bit below there. I've got some white lines up here. We're on a monthly scale looking at this. So each candlestick is 1 month in time. We take the last cycle's high, which was November 2021, to the bear cycle low in November 2022, a whole year later. And you can see these white lines correspond very well with the 1618 and just above the 2272. From a prior cycle high to low, Bitcoin, every single time it tops off in its bull cycle highs, it stops either at the golden ratio or the 2272. In fact, the last cycle, it stopped at the golden ratio, and that was the only time in its history that it did stop at the golden ratio. Every other time, we stopped at the 2272, and every time that we stopped at the 2272, we stopped just above it. So I took this line of 462K, I moved it up to a $500,000 price, because what's right above there that might provide psychological resistance and well, basically psychological resistance on the price and on the market cap, because that's a $500,000 price. That'd be about a $10 trillion market cap too, so that's double psychological resistance there. That'll be quite the barrier to get through. $500,000. We're going to leave those lines up. Okay, just again, this is to offer perspective of how much left that we have to go. Okay, we've been in a bull market since January 2023. Last cycle was undeniably the weakest cycle that we've seen so far. If this cycle were to end here, I think this would be the weakest cycle that we've seen so far, but I don't think it's going to happen. Even during the last cycle, where we had rates of high inflation, we had quantitative tightening going up, we had interest rates going up, we had COVID, post-COVID times, change of administration, and maybe it was good, maybe it wasn't good, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't good. Whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it, we had still, at the end of the cycle, whenever we had our finale phase, we still had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green months in a row. It only says 5 because it doesn't include that one, so we'll just count it back from here. 6 green months in a row to end the cycle. Okay, the cycle before that, we had 3 green months in a row, but that was really it was more like we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 green months, or 8 green months with a 1 red month in the middle. So just like phenomenal growth at the end there too, right? 6 green months in a row last cycle, 8 green months out of 9 the cycle before. We go to the cycle before, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green months in a row. The cycle before that, to end the bull cycle, you had, again, 3 at the end here, but that was really, it was like 9 with 1 in the middle, 1 red one in the middle. So all I'm trying to say is, does this look, historically speaking, to what we've seen, because we just went through every single bull cycle in Bitcoin's history, does this look anything like the end of the cycle to you? To me, it doesn't look like it, but I'm asking you, does it look like it to you? Right? And oftentimes, if we went back, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but if we went to the last 12 months altogether of every single bull cycle, you'd find that there's no more than 3 red months in that last 12-month period of the bull cycle. I assume we're in that last 12-month period now, and I actually think that the 12-month period started back here in October. We've already got 3 red months, you guys. This might, not saying that it will, but it might imply that literally every single month, including this month of April, every single month left in the bull cycle, because I think we're going to end in October, will be green. We're going to have this month green, right? That's going to be 6 months of green. And if you say 6 months of green, C-Zar, you're crazy. We can't do that. We did that exact same thing last time, and we even actually continued to grow in the 7th month. We saw the high in the 7th month, and then we pulled back and closed neutral, right? So, and you know what? Just to drive the point home, I'm going to do this. I didn't want to spend time doing this, but I'm going to do this, right? You go back 12 months, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months are red out of the last 12 months, right? It's actually 13 months if you include the month that it starts from, right? We already know that. 12 months here, which is actually 13 if you include the month that it started. 3 months red. 3 months red. Right here, 12 months. 12 months, 2 months red. And then same thing back here, you can see 3 months. 3 months red for that one. So I'm not going to measure that because I don't care to spend the time to do that, right? We're already spending a lot of time doing this mundane stuff anyways. All I'm trying to say is it's not impossible. It's really not that far-fetched at all to declare with confidence that Bitcoin is going to only see green months from here until the end of the cycle. We only have green to look forward to. And you're worried about whatever random crap's going on in the world, the tariff wars, who cares, right? I very much don't believe that we're in a bear market, you guys. This is not, the way that we started the bear market last time, the first 3 months looked like this. right? This is nothing compared to that, right? Also, how we ended our bull cycle, it's not even the same. So we don't have a similar start. We don't have a similar finish. I don't know what, I don't know. 3 months here, we went down a lot more, right, than the prior cycle. 3 months here, a lot more. The end of the bull cycle and the beginning of the bear cycle looks nothing like what we're seeing here. Nothing like it at all. So very much I don't believe that we're in a bear cycle. Very much I do believe that we have more growth to go. And the minimum target, if we're being honest with ourselves, is 174K by the end of the cycle. Now, you don't hear me talk about that oftentimes because I very much believe we will see 500,000 by the end of the cycle. Again, we had quantitative tightening, we had interest rates going up, we had high inflation, we had all kinds of stuff going on. The DXY was in expansion. It was going through an expansion phase. The dollar was actually gaining strength last cycle, which we've never seen in a bull cycle before. I think that hurt the performance of last cycle. And even still, we performed, right? If we saw the same performance, which was piss poor last cycle for Bitcoin, but if we saw the same performance, I'm going to just take the low from this green candle here, just to the high of that green candle there, right? 6 months of green. If we saw the exact same performance, that takes us all the way up above $400,000 right there. And do we have enough time to do that? Yes, we do. We absolutely do. 6 months, 7 months even, is more than enough time to do that. And who's to say that we stop in October? I've been calling for that for years now. But it could, it could be November. It could be August. It could be sometime later. It's hard to say. And hopefully, or not hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully it goes longer than I'm expecting. But the ideal area that I've foreseen for a while now is about October 2025. And a lot of people, I think, have understood that to be a prime area to take profits as well on a cyclical basis. But a lot of people, as we get closer to this, every single cycle, whenever we mess with these time zones, these time frames of where it would make sense for the bear market to start based on cyclicality in itself, people always push the dates back, or they push them forward. They mess with it because they get, I don't know if they get nervous or what, but I'm sticking with it, man. I'm sticking with it until the end. October is when we're going to top off. And again, I very much doubt that we stop at 174K. The expectation is to go to $500,000, even if we perform as well as we did last cycle, which again was just a sad excuse of a cycle, right? We've seen much more phenomenal finishes in every other cycle that we've had. And yes, I'm aware of diminishing returns and all that. But my theory is that last cycle, this part here was actually supposed to be the end of the cycle. And this last part was supposed to be more phenomenal than this part was. But it got held back because of all the reasons we've already discussed. All these reasons that we don't have now. We've got quantitative easing coming into effect, right? It's not happening yet, but it's starting to look like it's going to happen. Interest rates are going to come down. Inflation is at low points here, right? We've got a new administration, a crypto-friendly administration in the House. Very crypto-friendly. From a foundational standpoint, crypto is at a better place than it's ever been. My expectation would be we're only going to have a stronger finish than what we saw last cycle. So when I tell you it's going to be green and green only for the next 6 months, including this month here, I mean that, right? It's very possible on the flip side of that, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. It's very, very possible that we could still go lower from here before going higher. We have not officially pronounced this as a low, and to be completely fair, if we're looking at this as a low, you didn't even actually touch the prior price action of these resistance points here. Now, this could be due to front running. This is such an obvious area to buy that there's not enough people to sell, or there's too many people buying, whatever you want to say. It's the same thing either way. And so we had a positive reaction there. We haven't validated this as a low until we get above the daily high closes from over here, which is at about $88,000. If we can close above $88,000, then we validate this as a low. So it's very important to still consider that we could go lower and that this drop isn't over yet. I don't believe that. I very much believe this is the low. I think that double bottom there, that tweezer bottom with a lot of volume, right? We only got a lot of volume here at the low here. We got a lot of volume here at the low there. We tried to go lower, but we just couldn't do it. Couldn't even get oversold on the RSI. I'm thinking that we found the low, but even if I'm wrong, we're still likely to go higher afterwards, right? Everything that we've talked about so far is still going to happen. It just might shake up the markets first. And Bitcoin, let's be fair, Bitcoin is very familiar and very, very friendly with the idea of shaking up the markets before actually going up, right? It likes to see these dramatic drops before it actually moves up, right? Here we had a nice bounce. Everybody thought that was the low, and it was the low. But before we continued to go higher, we still dropped pretty significantly over 2 weeks, right? $84,400 now. I very much do believe that we're on our way higher. I'm just, again, the only reason why I'm talking about it's going lower is because if we go lower, I don't want people to panic. It's not the start of a bear cycle. I hope we've made that clear at least. From a relative low here to a relative high, We have closed right below the 382 and then closed right back above it with a bullish engulfing candle. This in itself really does help solidify the idea that this is the low. But what we need to do now ultimately is get above the 236, getting above 90,000, getting above 88,000. This kind of area here, closing above there will be very significant. Ultimately, just getting back into this consolidation range here, getting back up above where we broke out from, that will ultimately validate this as a low. And when we do that, we're pursuing higher targets, right? High to low here, the expectation would be that the next target area would be about 121K to 138K based on the fibs here. That's your primary target zone. You get above $138,000 and we're talking about prices that are at 153K to $203,000. This is your secondary target zone. You break above 203K, we go into the third tertiary target zone, and then after that it gets a little bit muddy, but we're on the way higher is all I'm trying to say. And this is our first target area, 120 to $140,000. We're likely going to see this area in May. This is the target area in May, and I'm actually expecting 140K to be where we're going in May. By the end of April, by the end of this month, of which we only have 10 days and 9 hours left, 10 days, 8.5 hours left, I'm expecting that Bitcoin will recover some. The call has been to go to 111K by the end of this month of April, but it's looking like it might be early April or early May instead of by the end of April. Did I say the month of May? We're supposed to go to 111K by the end of this month of April, not by the end of May. That's the expectation. But as we continue to move sideways, as we get to this day, I did say that if it was the 22nd of April and we weren't at this price here of about $96,000, $94,000, then we might have to rethink things. We're getting closer to that, and I got to say, I think Bitcoin can move pretty fast. We've only got 2 days and 8 hours left to help validate that, right? If we just keep moving sideways, it's very obvious that we won't see these targets of 111,000 by the end of the month, but we will likely see those in May, and then of course higher than that in May as well. But the next target area still remains from here. Golden ratio, 94 to 97K. We could push through that. Crypto, Bitcoin, everything in the markets right now has liked to push through its golden ratio on the first attempt for whatever reason this cycle and go to their 786 to 886. So keep it in mind, 100K to 104K could happen by the end of this month, let alone targets that are higher, right? We'll see how that goes. The daily RSI is consolidating nicely still. We do have different behavior going on with this consolidation than we've seen throughout this whole downtrend. Different behavior might get different results. What do I mean by different behavior? I mean, look at this high here, look at this high here, look at that high there, look at this one there. This one, do you see the similarity of all these highs, right? And then the difference between this one, right? Different behavior begets different results. This one did not reject immediately. We didn't have an immediate rejection, right? We didn't see immediate rejection. We've been consolidating. Different behavior might beget different results. It might not, but we're leaning with that, right? And different results being not a rejection could only suggest then a pump. And hopefully, ideally, it would be a rather fast pump. And I think that it will be a fast pump once we break out of here, because I think a lot of people are still uneasy, unnerved, uncertain of the markets, and that uncertainty can cause people to take their money out and sideline themselves. All they need is a little conviction, and what better conviction to have than price go up over the coming days. That'd be the expectation. So we're moving sideways. We're being boring. It can happen, man. We've moved sideways for like 20 days before. We're only 9 days in now. We can move sideways a little bit longer, but the longer that we do move sideways, inevitably, the larger the move will be, right? We had a pretty damn big breakout move here to the downside, but I'm expecting this one to be to the upside. So we'll see how it all goes. Ultimately, we break above 88K. We validate this as a low. We break above 96, 97K. We're back into this consolidation phase here, and we're eyeballing, targeting new all-time highs in a matter of days or weeks from there. So I've got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I very much doubt that Bitcoin goes to the downside, but even if it does, it's okay. It's okay. We could have one more flush out down to that 70K area. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but again, I think it's important to address it, because if you only think we're going to the upside and then this happens and then this happens, you're probably going to panic sell at the bottom, and you're going to miss the upside that if you just waited a week and you just blinked, it would have happened anyways. But I digress. That's all I got. Take it easy. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.